What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at The Day After Tomorrow, directed by Nolan Emmerich. The Day After Tomorrow tells the story about how global warming triggers a new ice age. That's pretty much the basic plot of this movie. Let's talk about it for a little bit. Now, I remember seeing Day After Tomorrow in the theaters when it first came out. I enjoyed it then, and I enjoy it now. Now, this movie is utterly ridiculous, and I am not a scientist, and I don't know anything about climate change or anything like that. So, I'm not going to believe what this movie says about what can trigger a global warming in the modern age. But I'm just going to look at this movie for what it is. And what this is a solid, good apocalyptic disaster movie. It's an entertaining popcorn flick. It has a very flimsy story. It has cardboard thin characters, but that's fine for a movie like this. Like this is not a movie that's going to like change your perception of it on anything. This movie is meant purely for entertainment value. Now, I'm sure the producers and the writers went through some research to try and make their script have any lick of sense, but when you're watching it and when you're hearing how they're explaining everything, you're like, okay, you're going for a reach. This is way too far fetched. And that's the story of Day After Tomorrow, from a plot standpoint and how it tries to justify everything. It's kind of far fetched. But let's just break this thing down as quick as we can. So overall, I think the cast in this movie is actually pretty good. You know, Dennis Quaid plays this character named Jack Hall, who is a climatologist, and he's the one who pretty much says, "Hey, listen, the world is heading for a new ice age sooner than later," and he pretty much tries to get people to accept that, particularly the Vice President of the United States, but he constantly gets shut down until the shit hits the fan and the climate change does take place. And we see the decimation of LA by tornadoes, and we see a tsunami that completely wipes out all of Manhattan. All the while, Quaid's son, Sam, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, and his friends are trapped in Manhattan as all this goes down, as they're on a school field trip. So now Jack has to go on an expedition to save his son. And again, I thought Dennis Quaid's performance overall was really solid. I thought it was fine. Dennis Quaid to me always has the everyman quality to him, and I thought he portrayed that just fine as Jack Hall. I think the chemistry with him and Jake Gyllenhaal is okay, though I don't think they really get enough scenes to kind of sell their relationship. A lot of their relationship is told to us mostly through dialogue, and I would have preferred to have seen more scenes with them interacting, since their relationship is kind of strained. Since Jack is obsessed with his work, he kind of loses time for his son and his marriage and things like that. But you do get the sense that Jack does care for his family. He's also into his work, and so that has caused a bit of a strain with his family. And Jake Gyllenhaal as Sam, I buy the relationship between the two. Jake Gyllenhaal I thought was fine in the role. You can tell that Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie, he was going to be a talent someday, even though this was not his first movie. But this movie was my first exposure to Gyllenhaal as an actor, and I liked what I saw at first. Now, of course, he got better as the years went on, but in this movie, I thought he was fine. I thought the supporting cast with Emma Rossum and the actors who played his friends, I thought they were fine in the roles too. The movie tries to tease at a triangle between the characters, between Sam, this girl he likes, and this other guy. Thank God the movie didn't really fully expand upon that, as the other guy pretty much said, "Hey, listen, go tell the girl how you feel." So I'm glad they didn't over exaggerate this love triangle. I think that would have been way too just not necessary. In contrast to that, I also like Jack and his research team, which has J.O. Sanders and Dash Mayhawk. I would have liked to see more scenes with this trio, because I thought they had an untapped chemistry with one another, particularly that of Sanders and Mayhawk, with Mayhawk being like the rookie to the group, and Jack and Frank being the elders of the group. I thought it would have been pretty cool to see more of the dynamic between those three. The movie teases at it here and there. We get a couple of glimpses here and there, and it kind of made me want to see more, because it led to some really cool, not cool, but led to some genuinely funny moments that made these characters feel real and like friends. And I was actually saddened by the death of Frank when he has to sacrifice himself after he falls through a plate of glass and is hanging from his life, and he has to, in order for Dash Mayhawk's character and Jack to move on, Frank had to sacrifice himself. I liked that whole scene. I thought it was really well done, and I thought Dennis Quaid did a great job at selling the death of his friend. I think out of all this entire movie, it's actually my favorite scene in the whole movie. Is that I thought that was the best directed scene from an emotional standpoint, to me at least. But this movie is not really about being emotional. It's not really about characters. It's about the effects. And Roland Emmerich to me is like Zack Snyder, and it is like Zack Schneider in the sense that he chooses special effects over character. As an action director, I think Nolan Emmerich is actually really, really good. He knows how to direct, these grand spectacle movies, but he just doesn't know how to direct characters and actors. This movie shows his strengths as a special effects type of director. I think the special effects in this movie look absolutely great. I think Roland Emmerich really captured that apocalyptic feel when the climate change does happen and the ice age takes place. It's got a lot of suspense to it. It's got a lot of tension to it. There's a particular scene that I actually do kind of like, where Sam and his two friends are searching this boat for like penicillin because the girl that Sam likes, has septicemia, and if she doesn't get penicillin, she can die. And the whole scene when they're on this boat trying to search for the medicine is really intense, but specifically, especially when you have like a pack of wolves that are hunting that boat and are trying to kill whatever they can see and trying to kill for food. I thought that scene was well done. The scenes of the world pretty much being decimated, I thought looked really good. The vice president at first not buying into Jack and then having to assume the role of president after the president of this movie is killed. I thought he had a nice little arc, and I thought his character got a good payoff as well. I like the scenes with Ian Holmes in this movie as well, who plays another climatologist opposite to Jack. I thought Ian Holm basically comes off as a cameo type of role, but I liked him and his little trope of people as well. I thought they had a good comedic chemistry to themselves as well. So yeah, like this movie does have some character type of moments. It just doesn't have like emotional beats that are really gonna like string at you. And it doesn't really have a story that you can really sink your teeth into. Like I said, this is a disaster movie, and as a disaster action movie, it works for me. The special effects are grand and they look great. Roland Emmerich does a good job at directing this movie. The cast is solid, and you buy them in the roles, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing really all that spectacular about The Day After Tomorrow. It's just a good popcorn movie. It's entertaining, and you will not be bored watching it. So with all that being said, to me, The Day After Tomorrow, I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10, because I really still like this movie, and I think it's really good. This is actually one of my favorite Roland Emmerich movies, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it now, and I'll always enjoy it. It's a good popcorn flick. So yeah, those are my thoughts on The Day After Tomorrow. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I will check you back next time for more.